Good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever the hell you're listening to us. This is Drunk Discussions, and we're your hosts. I'm Paul.
And I'm Sean.
And we just had a big ass blunder there. We've been drinking, pre-gaming. The new Call of Duty came out. Connery's been sending it on Call of Duty. Sending it, not well, but sending it. But either way, we have a fun and interesting podcast with this Halloween themed again, because it is that season, and we have some more fun things that people wanted us to do, and we're going to try them out. So, to get things going, Connery, what are you drinking on?
Apparently it's called a spritzer, but I just called it a white trash mimosa. It is Merlot mixed with Sprite Zero because, figure.
Yeah, that's why.
Watch. Yeah.
With the Sprite in there.
No, it's Sprite Zero.
Oh, okay. It looks crisp, honestly, with you like fresh out the refrigerator.
Oh yeah,
it's real.
There's nothing like a McDonald's Sprite, though. That's the sad thing about it. Like, you can get Sprite out of a can, out of a bottle, out of a glass bottle, and they're just not the same.
I don't know how true this is, but I had someone tell me that the Sprite for McDonald's is delivered in different packaging. So, like, the regular syrup is delivered in bags for everything else, but Sprite, it's in, like, metal cans.
No.
And that makes it more of a ting and zesty.
That's not it. So here's what it is. This is fast food hacks. So I lived in a small town where we had a McDonald's and a Wendy's. I worked at both. One offered Pepsi products. The other one offered the superior product, Coke.
Disagreeable. I'm going to argue that here in a minute.
Wait, you honestly think?
Pepsi's way better. Pepsi products win. Mountain Dew, way better than Mellow Yellow.
All right, well, that's the podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for joining.
No, Pepsi wins. It's so much better. I love Taco Bell, though, so I love going to get Pepsi.
See, when I go to Taco Bell, I get the high C, like the sugar-free high C. I think that's pretty fire there.
No Baja Blast, my guy?
I can't have high fructose corn syrup.
I'm pretty sure that's in I think that's in your Coke, bro. What are you talking about?
No. In Coke Zero, it isn't.
Oh, there's Pepsi Zero.
Actually, I will. So if it's life and death, like if I'm in a desert and somebody's like, "Here's a Pepsi Max," I'll probably shoot them in the head and then take the Pepsi Max because I'm disappointed. Honestly, don't ever hand that to me.
Pepsi's great. I don't know what you're talking. I'm sorry. This will always be a debate, no matter what. But
it's
taking
because
Pepsi's
your
side.
family is like Southern Ohio, right?
Northern.
You're Northern Ohio?
Yeah, my family's.
What?
In Pennsylvania.
There's it's Pennsylvania. So the demographic for Pennsylvania is definitely Pepsi. Coke products are fire. Why are we on a tangent about Coke? Oh, here's why.
I don't even know.
Here's the fast food hack. So this is what's happening. So you've got the cold carbonated water mixing in with cold limes as well for the syrup, and they're all in plastic bags. Don't let anyone tell you any different. I've
I'm
loaded
sorry.
those machines.
I feel like that's got to be. It's gotten zestier and more of a spice, like a bite to it, since you've been there. But
that's from the ice. So the ice has mold in it.
Well, either way, I'm going to argue this in a second. But before we do that, let's roll that intro.
1, 2, 3.
I'm a type 2 civilization hipster.
Jesus is watching you. You're going to all burn in hell. That's why Antarctica's off limits. It's just a bunch of penguins fucking each other, and it causes a chain reaction. People lose their fucking minds.
Trust me, man. I've seen some shit.
Nice to be in orbit.
Roger, 0G, and I feel fine.
You should probably go get that checked and shove a finger in your bum. You're laughing, but it's already in there. What is up, you spooky sluts? We are back. Thank you so much for joining
Drunk Discussions.
Drunk Discussions podcast. We've got this holiday special. So October obviously is the month of Halloween. It's a month.
It's just a spooky season. I hate when people are like, it's a one day. No, we're making it a season. If we can make Christmas a season, Halloween's a season. So
last week we talked about Jesusween, right? I found out that in 2012, Jesusween was actually presented, and they have their own website, jesusween.com. And it's exactly what you expect, if you were to visit that. I'm not promoting them, but if you go to their website, definitely sign up for some cool stuff. Oh, we've made it on Twitch, dude.
What do you mean?
We've got bots in the lobby trying to sell us products. Hey,
this
bot.
Is beautiful. This is beautiful. We've finally done it. We've cracked the system.
We done did it. Thanks for helping with the viewer count. So yeah, what? Oh, spooky season. So what are we talking about today,
Spooky
Paul?
season. Well, first of all, I wanted to circle back before we're completely off it. And Pepsi's better. And I'll tell you why. Because early on, Pepsi was like, yeah, we got to spike our sales up. We're just going to buy franchises and sell our product there. And they literally made Taco Bell. They got Taco Bell to specifically sell Pepsi. And Taco Bell is by far the finest fast food eating establishment there is. I argue anyone. It's cleaner. It's better. They have stepped the standards up. It's the shit.
Actually, I disagree. I think Wendy's, when it comes to breakfast items too, far superior. Actually, no. Hold that back.
Whoa, that's a big boundary, dude. Them breakfast Crunch Wrap Supremes slap anything on that menu.
They do, but they have a honey garlic chicken biscuit
It is good. It's good. I've had it.
at Wendy's.
But
which
their
is phenomenal.
biscuits at Wendy's are dry. They're dry.
They are. It's hit or
They're
miss.
not just dry. They're
down here.
uber dry.
No, that's hit or miss down here. Like I've been trying all the biscuits that I can, and out of all of them, our Wawa biscuits beat out McDonald's. It
I'm
beats
telling
out
you,
Taco.
you have nothing.
Wendy's.
There's no biscuit unless you've gone to Tudor's Biscuit World. Tudor's Biscuit World. It's a, like Appalachian Midwest like thing, and I'm telling you what, it's the best breakfast I've ever had for fast food. But
I'm not a fan
regardless-
of Chick-fil-A breakfast, but
No, it's
Coke
not good.
products are superior.
No, it's not. You're wrong.
Now,
All right, so-
here's how you know it's superior. Coke Zero.
Okay,
Put
you know,
it
this is how we're gonna solve this. Are you a vampire fan or a werewolf fan? Go.
I'm a werewolf fan.
Okay, so am I. So I was really thinking you were gonna say vampire for some reason, because of the last episode you said you'd rather get sucked off by a vampire.
I had a teeth obsession the last episode. If I
Yeah, I
remember
don't.
correctly.
I don't know why.
It just kind of went there.
Oh god! But either way, we have some interesting ones we're gonna go over. So the biggest one is the origins of Halloween. Do you
Oh,
know the origins of Halloween or All Hallows Eve?
I know it's a pagan holiday, but that's all I really know. I don't know the origin. Paul, enlighten us.
Enlighten you. Halloween is a holiday that was celebrated for thousands of years. But on October 31st, it occurred on usually a Tuesday. I don't know why that's in there. Tradition occurred that the ancient on a Tuesday. I was like, that's funny.
Halloween going up
On a Tuesday. But either way, the ancient Celtic festival, Samhain. I'm not going to try to say that again. Samhain.
Seaman?
Samhain.
Seaman.
Yeah. Well, either way, people would light bonfires, wear costumes to ward off ghosts. Ghosts. Hey, cheers.
Jesus, cheers, buddy.
I'm just gonna
This
keep
is
going.
gonna be an
Keep drinking.
episode.
Yeah, it is. To ward off ghosts. And then in the 8th century, Pope Gregory the Third
Gregory.
I'm having a rough time. Designated November 1st as a time to honor all saints, soon to become All Saints Day. So that's why we have All Saints Day after Halloween. It was to get people away from the pagan rituals, as once again the religious entities that they are try to ruin paganism.
Rugen.
But either way,
Rugened it.
it evolved over time into activities because, you know, you couldn't just go out and have a bonfire dressing as in pagan style, having loud music. That was against anything they wanted to teach. So they would have the day of or before All Saints Day, they'd be handing out treats. It eventually changed throughout medieval times and into the Renaissance period that All Hallows Eve, or the night of All Hallows Eve or Halloween, the candy would be passed out for All Saints Day. And over time, we had jack-o'-lanterns, festivals gathering for All Saints Day, but they just called it All Hallows Eve. So it's kind of a mixture. We took the original thing. They were like, we're going to try to change it and throw a spin on it. It worked. We loved it, but we never actually called it All Saints Day. We just stepped with Halloween.
So let me ask you, Paul, what are you doing for Halloween this year?
Normally, last year I went to a buddy's house who has a haunted house. Like, he actually has a haunted house built into his garage, his front yard. It's pretty, intricate. And I worked the haunted house on Halloween itself. And I got to scare the absolute shit out of grown ass men and kids. So I had a good time.
Nice.
What about you?
This year we are going to a gated community to trick or treat.
Oh, that's the whitest thing I've ever heard.
He's a booger.
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
No,
not
you
wrong.
gotta go. You gotta go to the good neighborhoods, man. Like the big suburb ones where you can go in there and just get like absolute massive like sleeping bags full of candy. I mean sleeping bags, not just pillows, sleeping bags full of candy.
Yeah, but if you go to a gated community, you leave with full candy bars.
That's fair. But there's always
size.
houses with full candy bars in those ones.
Yeah, but I also like where I live. You got to think the demographic of where I live, dude.
You're worried about meth candy, aren't you?
Oh,
I
actually,
saw that in
harmful
Florida.
harmful substances is something I wanted to bring up today in regards to the urban legends of drugs
like-
and candy.
No, that's not even the worst one. I feel like the worst one was razor blades back in the day. It was like they put razor blades in your candy.
As a retired drug dealer, here's what I can tell you: they're not going to put drugs in your candy because drugs cost money,
And they're expensive.
and
And
it's not
we'd
cheap.
rather take the drugs than give them to a child.
Yeah, retired people gate, exactly. That's the demographic I live in. So the gated communities are nice because typically, you know, the old people love to treat the kids, right? It's just, oh, you want the candy, but also it keeps out this one guy, this one specific person every single year. I see him at the largest Halloween parties. He's standing outside with a megaphone, telling you everyone's going to hell. 3 years ago,
So he's
I
one of the Jesus Ween guys.
yeah, 3 years ago, I ended up stripping on him. Long story.
Wait, whoa, no. What do you mean stripping? Like you got naked?
No, that's public indecency, and there's kids around.
I know. So I was wondering, what do you mean stripping on him?
So it was like 11 at night. This is when it was all the adults partying, right? It was a street party. There was no kids. All the kids had basically gone to bed. And this guy's
Allegedly.
just with a megaphone screaming, "Fuck you, you're all going to hell. Yeah, you're going to burn for all of eternity," just screaming it into the megaphone. And we were like, "Hey, let's take the party to him." So everyone's just kind of taking off their shirts. They're wearing their pants, right? You know.
Okay, so it's
The
just you went
women are-
shirtless.
yeah.
Your hairy ass is wearing some like short shorts and a shirt, no shirt.
Actually, I was dressed up as a slutty construction worker, so I was wearing a safety vest, right, a hard hat, and Daisy Dukes with a pair of cowboy boots, and that's all I
Yeah.
was wearing. And so I took everything off other than the boots and Daisy Dukes, and yeah, we kind of just all circled around him and grinded. It was a good time. Don't get me wrong.
Did he
but,
freak the fuck out? Like, what did he do?
well, we didn't touch him because that's assault. So he continued with a megaphone. But the cool thing about it is we were able to sync up all these Bluetooth speakers and drown him out with like Effervescence and Godsmack and a bunch of other.
That's great,
artists.
actually.
It's
I'm
the
loving all of
appropriate
that.
way. Yeah, it's appropriate.
It's the only way you should do that with someone.
Yeah,
I'm really hoping I'm not going to turn every corner and there's just going to be people in white chanting like Jesus Ween. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. That being said,
I don't think that'll happen. But I wanted to talk about the substances in candy.
okay, let's hear it. Let's hear the substances in candy because like I grew up with the whole there's razor blades and like my mom would still check my candy. Did your mom check your candy?
You know why they checked your candy, right?
Yeah, they get the good shit. That was my dad though. I never let him go through it. It was my mom first. And she'd
Yeah.
steal the Twizzlers, so I wasn't that mad about it.
Luckily, I'm one of those health parents, but I have cheat days, so my daughter doesn't eat much candy at all, but I do.
Mostly bubbles. Every time I'm getting a video, you guys have that bubble machine on, and she's just like,
She fucking loves those bubbles, dude. Anyways, so stories about razor blades, what you're talking about, and apples and poison candy. They've circulated since the 1960s. These tales were just spread by mouth. There's been a few isolated incidents, though, but they were for a specific purpose. So, Ronald Clark O'Brien case, 1974, is one of the most infamous cases of Halloween candy tampering. It involves Ronald Clark O'Brien. By the way, you like Clark bars? What just happened?
I don't know. It just my headset went all fucking wonky. Give
You
me
need a new
second.
headset, bud. You good?
Keep going.
Okay. Do you like Clark bars?
Oh,
Uh,
wow, that is loud.
Is it
Okay.
loud for everyone else? No. Okay.
What is
Uh,
going on with this fucking headset? Either way,
Yeah.
Go
anyways. I'm not going to ask you the question. Who poisoned his own son with cyanide-laced pixie sticks in an attempt to claim life insurance money. This case, though, is referred to the Candyman, or the man who killed Halloween. He's often been misremembered and misreported, contributing to the myths of strangers poisoning Halloween candy. So a dad basically poisoned his own son for an insurance claim. You get it figured out? Oh man, this is going to be an interesting podcast.
It's back to normal. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties.
All right, you good?
It was, yeah, that was, I'm deaf. I am so deaf. It just all of a sudden just like, I heard static loud because it was all the way up.
A new headset.
It's in the works.
This
weekend.
Anyways, so that was the Ronald Clark O'Brien case. So since you probably, did you hear it?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you like Clark bars?
Sure.
What about 100 grand bars?
Yeah.
They're the older candy bars, right?
Yeah.
Typically they're covered in dust.
But like,
it was loud. So
I've always only ever had that with the Three Musketeers. Like you open a Three Musketeers that's old and it's got that like the dust on it.
You open it and it's got dust? Did you break it again?
Dude, I don't know. It's just disconnecting, connecting. I don't know, understand what is going on right now. You're
Do
good.
you have a cord you can plug into it?
I have another option.
All right. Well, while we have these technical difficulties, we'll be right back.
All right. There we go. It should be better.
You good?
Yeah, we're good. What about other substances though? Like for real, like anything else?
All right, you're good. All right, cool.
What's wrong?
I switched to BRB.
Yeah, what's up?
I don't know. What's up?
Oh, we're good now. I fixed it.
Okay, you good?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, we're back. Anyways, so the media obviously played into it when it came to the case and blew it out of proportions, and then Christians grabbed a hold of it just like, you thought they would, and essentially just brought in a few things. So the fear of strangers became one of them, parental anxiety became another one, and moral panics became another one. So all of these kind of played into the fact that from one day, this guy tried to poison his kid to get insurance money, has essentially tried to ruin Halloween. But luckily, we like dressing like sluts.
Right. All it takes is one person, though, and then all shit hits the fan.
Yeah. What's your favorite? Like, there's always the broad spectrum of a basic white person when it comes to Halloween outfits. You got the, like me, for example, the construction worker, the nurse, the fireman or woman, the police officer.
I don't ever do any of that stuff though. Like
last year, I'm saying witnessing.
Oh, so like people watching.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing better. I'm so desensitized now because I go to like the Renaissance Festival and cosplay stuff that like Halloween is nothing. It's really nothing when it comes to the shit that I've seen. Like you go to that and then you're seeing a pixie where all she has is like a strap carrot covering just barely each nipple, and like Halloween ain't nothing.
Wait, that happens at Ren fairs?
All the time.
Hey Siri, when's the next Ren fair? Oh, I'll be doing this weekend.
Hey, time for to take the family. They kids go. It's family friendly. And daddy gets to watch something. Mommy gets to see someone that looks like fucking Hercules. You're good. You're good.
I'm Hercules.
But you could always dress up. You'd be cool as a Viking done up well, for real. Like some face paint, shirt off, hairy, do the little like Viking slashes in your hair, have some fur on a kilt. Oh, a kilt with that, bub.
I'm ordering a kilt. So I'm going as a Scotsman for Halloween this year.
Yeah, that'd be cool. You should do that.
In an appropriate Scotsman, where I am wearing underwear, but it's not underwear.
What they're like the Skittles underwear that you can eat.
Banana hammocks. Oh, that would be even better. But inappropriate, inappropriate.
See, I feel like the original's worse because like you're actually under their fucking full commando. One fell trip and everyone sees the show.
I did. So I talked to, at work, HR sent out an email and said, hey, we're going to have a Halloween costume contest. Best contest wins like a $500 gift card or whatever. I was like, oh, cool. I'm going to dress up as a Scotsman. So I asked to be appropriate. I was like, is it okay to wear, a cultural appropriate kilt? Because it's my culture. And he was like, yeah, that's fine. I was like, you do understand that means I don't wear underwear because it's part of my culture. And he said, you can't do that. And I was like, are you suppressing my heritage? And
What did he say?
He had no idea how to fucking respond. Fuck him.
Yeah, but if it's long, like they're long enough, you know what I mean? Like a real one
It goes below your knees.
Yeah, below your knees. Like you're gonna have to. But I mean, peeing wise, you're ready to go.
You're anything, really. Athena's going ham.
Yeah, I think someone's here.
Oh, maybe
Hold
it's
on.
a boogeyman. Anyways, put in chat what you're wearing for Halloween. Just look at each other. Hi. How's it going? You guys come here often? You're going as a scarecrow? That's badass. It sounds itchy,
Just
though.
having all the problems apparently today. Dog's going apeshit over a cat on the porch.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Why would you get arrested as a scarecrow?
I mean, are you a naked scarecrow? What if you do? Okay, can you get arrested though? I know it's different in different areas, but can you get arrested if you're doing like full body paint?
I don't know. Technically, it's perceived as art. And in Florida, I think you're allowed to have your breasticles.
And I'm pretty sure, like we have here at Comfest, where like you can be, shirt and pretty much damn near naked if you're painted. So like,
at the same time, like if you're painted, typically you're wearing like a very, you're wearing like pasties over your nipples.
It's illegal to wear a mask in Virginia. What?
That ain't a thing.
That's not real. There's no way. I have like we sell masks at like the what is it? The Halloween store, Halloween Spirit, Halloween City. There ain't no way in public. Okay, well, each state is different.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do if you are in a state that has mask mandations when it comes to you're not allowed to for Halloween. Just say it's in protection of COVID-19. There you go.
Bam.
What are they going to say? They can't say anything. That's your excuse. Because it's a
I saw someone.
mandated thing.
I did see someone that dressed up their yard with the skeletons throwing, like snowball fight throwing COVID-19, like little full balls with like the things coming off like the actual virus. And I thought it was hilarious. They're like chucking the virus at each other.
So it's kind of fun. That's fucking hilarious. In Virginia, historically, though, there is a law prohibiting wearing masks, and it's placed in for crimes and originally targeting activities of the Ku Klux Klan.
I mean, that's kind of cool. So it's like more for hoods. You can't be walking around with a hood being hooded.
Yeah,
which good. You shouldn't.
No hoods allowed in Virginia.
Oh well. All right. Well, to the next topic we've been waiting for.
Oh yeah.
So we've all been
guys.
waiting for. Yeah, let's take a drink. Actually.
Yeah. Let's be honest. This is already a clusterfuck of an episode, so we're here for.
That's all my fault. I'm literally buying headphones tomorrow.
No,
I am. This is so annoying. It pisses me off. So we have our showdown, our typical Halloween monsters. So we have the standard ones, obviously, like we could have done it before, but I separated it in some groups here. 1v1ing. We're talking the Monster Mash, the Monster Throwdown. Number one, I thought this was kind of interesting. A ghoul versus a goblin.
I mean, is a ghoul undead?
No, it's more so. It's not like it's almost like you would think, almost kind of like a demon. It's a grave robbing, fierce. Like I guess it is. They feast on corpses. They aren't corpses themselves. It's an Arabic myth or an Arab myth to seize. So it's like a seized body, and it's transformed into this horrific looking creature. The tales originated in like 1780. Like they're a little bit bigger than goblins, so like that's why I kind of put them as ones that can fight each other, a goblin and a ghoul.
Well, so a ghoul though does have a little bit more strength than a goblin, so I think it could overpower the goblin personally. But if the goblin itself possesses magic or like clever wit, maybe it could, overthrow the goblin, or sorry,
Right.
the ghoul that way.
So I was thinking like if you're thinking like Harry Potter goblins, like they can be magical. But goblins are usually, from what we've seen, it's a Greek word, kabalos.
Goblin,
kabalos. Kabalos.
yeah, it's part of
Greek.
European folklore. Usually,
Yeah, in Latin, French. So
Yeah.
it's been around for a while, including into the Middle Ages. There's 7 versions of the origins of
your
goblin.
dog fucking going ham in the background, dude.
Can you? I feel like I couldn't pick it up. Is she really picking her up?
I hear it. It doesn't matter. Don't worry. So for ghoul though, it's a Middle Eastern folklore. Some of interpretations of ghouls include shapeshifting abilities and portray them as being very strong. They're often depicted as undead beings that consume the flesh of the dead and have ghastly, horrifying appearances. So basically, like a meth head. Or, what do they call that? You remember the guy in Florida that ate a
Yeah.
man's face? What
No,
was he?
That's
coked out
bath
on?
salts. That's
Bath
bath
salts.
salts. Bath
Yes.
salts.
Yes.
But no, I mean, I don't know. I if we're doing a 1v1, a goblin versus a ghoul, goblins don't. I mean, they're creepy looking. They got the weird ears, mad looking teeth, and they could probably be fast and skittish. But if you're taking on a ghoul, which most of the depictions have like this like creature that's eaten like dead flesh and has fucking massive nails, I'm probably take the ghoul on this one.
Well, I am with the ghoul on this one too, but there's a few different situations that my Iron Man's about to fall. That
Don't
arises
knock him
when
over, man. That's collectible.
when it comes to goblins, right? So some goblins are perceived as social creatures, so they move in packs. Others have magical abilities, right?
They're not fucking leprechauns, okay, Connery?
Close enough. I'm gonna go ghoul on this one.
Yeah. Now, but they are known as troublemakers, goblins. So, like, maybe if it was like the ability and the craziness and like chaotic ability of like what were those little creatures? The gremlin, like a gremlin, maybe.
Gremlins are closer to,
but you'd have to have more,
fairies.
like a lot of them. You couldn't have like if we're doing 1v1, the ghouls winning. But if you had a
Alright.
lot of goblins,
So let's set some ground rules, right? Traditionally perceived and 1v1.
okay. So then I'm
That's for
taking
the
the
monster
ghoul.
mash. Yeah.
Ghoul all day.
Okay, yeah, ghoul. 100%.
All right. Next one. A demon versus zombie.
Ooh. Well, technically, the way I perceive demons is they're able to possess the bodies of the dead.
Right, so they could
Automatically,
just
it would
possess it.
yeah.
So it's an ancient Greek word. It comes and derives from force and fate of God, or the gods. The demon comes from the word and verb meaning to divide or to split. It wasn't until like the 1825 or the end of the Middle Ages / Dark Ages that the demon was referred to as a supernatural being with negative connotations. While translating the Hebrew villain from the Greek ancestors, it came from demon to describe them as something demonic from God himself.
And zombies, they're rooted in the
Which is
Haitian
funny
voodoo.
because you'd think the devil,
Yeah.
but it's from God. Think about that again. Most modern Christians are like, oh, the devil makes demons. No, God created demons.
Anyways, so the zombies
Crazy.
rooted in Haitian voodoo and has evolved with just popular culture, right? The Walking Dead. So they're depicted as reanimated corpses with the desire for human flesh. Zombies possess superhuman strength and endurance with an insatiable drive for consuming the living. I think this is easy to say. The demon would take it all the way because demons are typically
Right.
perceived as smart. They have strategy. They possess supernatural powers. Sometimes magic. I would definitely go demon 100% on the Monster Mash.
I think I'm going to have to take your side on that as well because, like you said, they just take it over. Now, the origins of zombie and everything, and not just it's kind of around the world, like everywhere from West Africa talks about zombies, to the Congo in Africa, to China. Like there's so many different
China.
things talking about, this folklore of corpses returning from the dead. I mean, you could theoretically, like our next one, mummies, it's the same thing. A mummy is a zombie then. It's just a mummy is a pharaoh zombie, one that's possessed by the gods.
Yeah.
So I mean, we have a next battle pretty much right back to back, because these first ones are a little weak, but the ghost and a ghost versus a mummy. So you have a ghost, which depending on what kind of ghost, because we've both played Phasmophobia. There's a lot of different kinds of ghosts, and I feel like there's also kind of a different kinds of mummies too, because there's different types of mummification done throughout the world. So I guess it would just depend on what we're doing. Are we doing like a typical Egyptian mummy?
Yeah, I mean, mummy is only associated with Egyptian folklore.
Well, it's mummification. There's multiple different civilizations that have done mummification, or the purification process of a body after it's been deceased.
Right. The ideology, though, of it did adapt, but originally started in ancient Egypt,
Right.
from what I'm reading. So depending on the story, though, they might possess superhuman strength, a curse that brings misfortune, or control over ancient magic.
Right.
Where ghost is found in almost every single culture.
Mostly Germanic, though, is what I was seeing.
Yeah.
Ghost comes from Old English, which means spirit of any kind, which doesn't give it a very broad spectrum on that, but
it moves through solid objects. It can possess, it can create cold spots, and it can move objects.
yeah.
This one's going to be a toss-up, right? Because
Right.
technically the ghost can just move through whatever the mummy throws at it.
And neither one of them would die. One's a cursed being, and they're both
dead.
cursed beings, technically.
Yeah, they're both already dead.
Is there a way? Because I feel like with vampires and werewolves, there was sayings and things we could do to kill them. Is there any way to kill a mummy? With a ghost, you could just sage it, right? Or use I guess holy water or whatever is what they say, or incense. So you could just sage or incense the area for a ghost. But a mummy, how are you killing a mummy? He's already dead.
I have different scenarios. So everything Paul says, I'm pulling up into AI just to throw it out there and see what happens. A ghost, this is scenario one. A ghost being intangible might not be affected by physical attacks from a mummy. However, the same thing can be applied with the ghost not being able to inflict physical harm upon the mummy. So they would basically just become like star-crossed lovers at that point.
It would be a stalemate,
Yeah.
a forever stalemate.
Scenario two involves a mystical aspect. Considering mummies are often depicted with curses or magical protections, there might be scenarios where a mummy's curse could impact the ghost, especially if the ghost's existence is bound or influenced by magical laws. I think we just go ahead and call this one a wash for the Monster Mash.
Okay.
I don't think either of them are going to come out on top. I think they're just going to end up sleeping in bed together.
They're just going to sleep together.
Unless, yeah, I mean, Gabe put a good point. Unless there's like a torch on the wall that's lit in the mummy's, tomb, he could knock over the torch and catch the mummy on fire.
All right. Now the next one is different.
Okay.
We have the devil. The devil, the typical like depiction of Halloween devil, like red with horns, like
Right.
that kind of a devil, versus Frankenstein.
Okay.
So you have something made by man and something unmanly, unholy. Or both technically, I guess you would say unholy, but either way. And obviously in the Frankenstein's monster and everything, he's more than one man, multiple men. He's super strong, impervious to like bullets. The only thing that scares him is fire. But the devil is like, especially the red version is like the king of fire.
Yeah, so everything that's being pulled up here is the Frankenstein's monster. The only thing that really would be the difference here is the powers of the Frankenstein monster includes emotional understanding and desire for acceptance and companionship. So it could recruit, but we're talking 1v1 with the devil. Control over demonic entities, manipulate reality, possess beings, inflict curses. Everything I'm seeing it would be the devil all the way.
The devil with the dub.
Devil with the dub. They
Devil
don't
with
even
the
have
dub.
to rat. It just fucking. It's here. There it is.
So this one I thought was kind of interesting, and I kind of thought they were the same thing until I found out they weren't. They're not really the same thing.
What's that?
All right, the Yeti versus Sasquatch.
Oh, yeah. No, they're not the same thing. It's like
They're
a polar bear
not.
and a black bear.
Yeah, no. So a Yeti or a Yeti, what we would think is almost like ape-like, is not at all. The depiction of a Yeti is almost like a giant humanoid, like bear monster thing, which is crazy, like wolf-like, like a short-faced bear almost, right? Just like ape-like, but has claws. So it's very like abominable. Oh, it's Arctic. And then you have the Sasquatch, which is a 100% a giant ape. So 1v1, we're wanting to fight here. My thing is the Yeti has teeth, like sharp teeth for like eating flesh, and I feel like a Yeti does it.
I mean, both creatures are depicted as having a desire to avoid human contact and conflict. They might just decide to avoid each other completely. But no. In a physical battle, I think it would come down to environmental factors, right? So Himalayan folklore is for the Yeti, North American Pacific Northwest for the Sasquatch. Neither of them really have powers. Both of them possess strength. I would probably go the route of the Sasquatch, and the reason for that.
See, I might differ with you on this one.
Are we talking like a flat plane? Like, so say like it's not going to affect them when it comes to temperature, and you throw them into like the flats.
The arena. We're in an arena.
All right, arena. All right, we should probably have added that in the beginning. Fuck. I'm probably gonna go.
I'm going Yeti. I'll tell you why. So like,
Why?
there's a lot of depictions, right? Obviously, some are like, oh, it's also ape-like. It's just an abominable ape. There's some that are like, it's like almost like an ogre looking, right, with like sharp teeth and a wolf-like fucking figure on the back, but like claws mixed with. There's just so many different depictions of each one of these, right? I'm still
Okay.
gonna go with the Yeti because say they're the same size. This one's used to like the cold all the time and rocks and like that kind of stuff, while you have the other one used to the forests, marshy areas. I just feel like he's stronger. He's just able to like to handle more. I don't know. Like there's nothing worse and rough than it could be. Like, I don't know. If you drop one of us, do you think you could survive in the Arctic longer, or do you think you could survive in the American Northwest longer? I feel like I'd survive in the American Northwest way longer than I would in the Arctic.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing is you're saying it's in an arena. It's
I know we're saying
1v1.
but I feel like they come from different areas though, so they're acclimated to something that's harsher. Is what
Okay,
saying. So,
I'm
like,
going
he's
the
used to
Yeti.
something harsher. You're going with Yeti?
I'm going with the Yeti because that motherfucker has to fight polar bears.
If you saw the picture of the Yeti I'm looking at, you'd be like Yeti too, for real.
Yeah, I'm going Yeti all the way.
Do you have any the monsters that you'd like to see battle each other? I mean, we already kind of did werewolf vampire last time.
So we've got a few.
We haven't really talked witch. What could a witch go up against as an awesome fight, like a witch?
What's the photo? I don't know. I'm the only one that's able to pull it up. Hold on a second. Yeti. Let's see if I can generally find what he's talking about.
What is he saying?
I was gonna
Is
see it.
Bigfoot a Sasquatch? Yeah, Bigfoot's Sasquatch. 100%. That's like America Northwest Sasquatch, Bigfoot. Yeti that's like from the Himalayas, what we hear from out there in the Himalayan mountains in Tibet and over there, China, Nepal, over there in that area.
Let's see. So let's do.
Ooh, Wendigos would be a good one. Wendigos and Skinwalker fight. We've talked about them, but we've never had them fight. Who you taking? Wendigos or a Skinwalker? I'm gonna probably go Wendigos.
I would.
They scare me more. I'm gonna be honest. They scare me way more.
Skinwalkers have the power of illusion, right? So
do Wendigos.
They both have the disguise, but Wendigos have superhuman strength, speed, endurance.
Right. And
Um,
shape shifting abilities to an extent.
so
And
it's saying
vocals.
here, a Skinwalker versus Wendigo in an arena scenario offers a thrilling exploration. Shut the fuck up
Ooh,
with the stats.
thrilling.
Thrilling.
Ooh.
The winner might
They threw
largely.
out stats. This is like some
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh shit, some fucking Pokemon cards.
I've
We
been
making trading card game right now.
I've been spending this time building this bot out to handle every situation. The winner might largely depend on the specific interpretations of their powers and circumstances of their encounter, as both creatures have roots in the spiritual and supernatural. Their battle could unfold across both physical and metaphysical planes, and there's a few scenarios. The potent abilities of the Wendigo, it could potentially overpower a Skinwalker in a direct physical confrontation, especially if the latter is in a smaller or less physically formidable animal form. As in regards to a Skinwalker never is really portrayed in its true fashion. It's always something else than what it
Right.
is, right?
Right.
Where a Wendigo can just be a motherfucking Wendigo, you know?
It could kind of be anything though, can it?
Yeah, I would go Wendigo on this situation.
See, that was a good one. Who was it that said that? Gade. That was
Gade.
a good one. That was a
Yeah.
very good one. I liked that a lot.
Uh,
Ooh,
what else is kind of like spellcasty other than a witch?
that's what I was thinking, like a warlock, but it's the same thing, just a male version, right?
Yeah, that's what World of Warcraft taught me.
Okay. Ooh, that's a hard one too.
What's hard?
So like someone also said the Grim Reaper. So but who would you put the Grim Reaper against? Like what, Jack Skellington? Like who are you throwing the Grim Reaper against?
If I was gonna throw, I would say like Voldemort.
Cthulhu versus the Grim Reaper. Who's winning?
That's
That's a hard one. You have the embodiment of death versus the embodiment of chaos and death.
let's see. So Cthulhu is created by H.P. Lovecraft. It's not really
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
a background of anything. Its powers include
Dragon
vast
and even
psychic
human
powers.
with an octopus head.
What the fuck did you just say? Human in him?
Human in him.
Oh, human in him.
In him.
Cinnamon in him.
Hibernating in an underwater city, there's a strong fear and anxiety that one day the creature will return to the surface and then light. Wait, what? And then it's light out for all of us. So like Cthulhu is just again another bringer of death versus the Grim Reaper. I might have to go with the Reaper on this one.
Well, I have the Reaper and Cthulhu. So, powers for the Cthulhu is psychic powers, the ability to induce insanity, enormous physical strength. A Grim Reaper is omnipotent being for whom guides or takes souls to the afterlife, possess powers related to death, time, and possibly reality. Grim Reaper. You possess
That's a toss
time.
up. I feel like it's a toss up.
If you possess time, he could essentially just take his scythe, point it at Cthulhu, and say, "Hey, enjoy that billion years," like that, right?
No shit. Like he could just be like Itachi and be like 75 years of pain. You don't get that reference, but it's
That
fine.
would be a hell of a battle to actually witness. Like if we were able to watch this Monster Mash unfold, imagine this would be the pinnacle show. This is like the fucking.
So if this is
show.
if this is the heavyweight, what is
Oh,
the
yeah, this is
lightweight?
heavyweight.
Like a Phantom versus a Wraith or something?
Yeah, lightweight's just fucking ghosts jerking each other off. They're like, boo.
Okay.
Boo.
How about this one?
What's
The
it?
Creature of the Black Lagoon versus the Invisible Man. That's a good one.
That's lightweight.
That's a good one, I feel like, because like they both are something that isn't out of the realm of like super physical strength or super crazy abilities. One dude's invisible and he's a psychopath, and the
Yo,
other
man,
one's
yeah.
a creeper, a creepy, creeper from the swamp who fell in and got fucking, changed by all the radiation.
Let's see. So
The
the creature
creature.
of the Black Lagoon though has superhuman strength,
Oh,
exceptional
he does?
swimming
I didn't think he was
abilities.
superhuman strength. I thought it was just like, a normal creature.
No, so superhuman strength, invisible man. Just he's
He's an
invisible.
invisible man.
He's invisible. That's
Yeah, but
pretty easy.
if he just gets naked, the creature ain't ever gonna see him.
Yeah, well, the Invisible Man is, invisible, and he could place traps. He could strategically plan moves, or he could just sit there and put a finger up his bum, and Black Lagoon would never know. Um, that's scenario one. It doesn't say put a finger in his bum, but I think into it a little bit. Scenario two: the creature from the Black Lagoon, being a creature of instinct and possessing a level of physical prowess, might utilize its senses other than sight, such as hearing or smelling, to locate the Invisible Man. It'd be perfect
Ooh,
for that
that's it.
situation.
This is a good one that someone just texted me, my buddy. Mothman versus the Chupacabra.
Ooh,
That's actually pretty sweet. I never even thought of that. Now we're getting into some of the creatures. And I don't know, man. The Chupacabra sucks blood and like the bones and all the nutrients out of you dry. Mothman kind of does the same. We don't really know. They say that he picks you up and flies you away. And moths, don't they like ingest insects as well? Like I don't know. I don't. You think I would know that info, and I feel like I don't know that info with the moths. Actually, I hate moths.
So Mothman is described as a humanoid figure with large moth-like wings and glowing red eyes. It can fly. That's about it. That's all that's really known about it. Whereas
Right.
the Chupacabra is more or less a vampire that is reptile-like.
But
with
here's the thing: the
spikes.
Mothman can fly, and he's humanoid-like. So like, if he could just fly down on the Chupacabra and just snap its spine or something, like
Well, the
might be
thing
lights
about the
out from the fucking
Chupacabra,
chewing.
though, that gets a little interesting. Think about it like this: the Chupacabra has like a self-defense mechanism on its back. It has spikes or quills.
Ooh, it does have spikes. You're right. I
So
didn't even
that'd be
think
a
of
little bit
that.
harder for the Mothman to just say, "Hey, I'm going to fly down on you" without impaling itself.
I didn't. Wow, you're right. The Chupacabra might win this one, but I think by a slim margin.
It's essentially like the Chupacabra is kind of like a armadillo. It just kind of could just roll up and take the attacks. I always go with flying creatures though, so I'm gonna go ahead and go with Mothman on this one. We also have a Jinn versus Witch, which I think would be a good one.
Oh, a
What's your
Jinn versus
thoughts?
the witch.
Yeah, Genie.
I think the witch. Oh, a genie versus the
Well,
witch.
a Jinn is a genie.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, they both are magical, but a genie doesn't it have to like the user cast the wishes, and it's an all powerful being, so like the wishes are final. So even a witch couldn't like if it was like me and I had 3 wishes and I was like I want the wish to be gone, she would be poof, right?
Yeah, but
Theoretically.
we said 1v1, like nobody's controlling the gym.
Then the genie's dead.
Well,
Not
it's
even dead.
still.
He'd be put back into his lamp.
Have you watched Aladdin?
He'd be put back in his lamp.
Let's say the first wish was, "Hey, you're free from your lamp." For starters, that's a
He
different
turns
folklore.
he turns back. Oh, so they're not the same thing. So what's
Yeah.
the folklore of this genie or this jinn?
The jinn is pre-Islamic Arabin with Islamic mythology. Its supernatural entities can take various forms and inhabit an alternate reality to humans. The powers are known for the ability to grant wishes, shapeshift, and exhibit vast magical and supernatural abilities. Where the witch is human, it's depicted as practitioners of magic, sometimes through packs of supernatural entities. The
And
abilities
dark.
include spellcasting, potion making, flying on broomsticks, and sometimes summoning or controlling supernatural entities.
Okay, I might have to. I don't know because I feel like they're the controllers of magic in a sense. So I might have to go with the witch on this one. I feel like she's going to be able to control to an extent the magic that's used against her or the genie
Yeah.
himself.
I agree with you there. It kind of depends on, I guess, the level of the witch's knowledge. Like, if the witch is well studied, she knows what she's dealing with. She can go into it properly.
So I have one for you.
Yeah.
Were you a big fan of the movies, like the horror movies growing up, like Michael Myers, Jason, Krueger, stuff like that? We've talked about those before, but I had one that I forgot. Did you ever see Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
Yeah, I remember that. It's the special child that grew up in
So
the
like,
household and just was protecting the people of the house. Yeah,
so
or the family.
Leatherface,
That
wasn't that Texas
wasn't
Chainsaw Massacre?
no
Yeah,
Leatherface was
Texas
that.
Chainsaw Massacre. It was Leatherface. So
Was it?
Leatherface, I'm gonna put this on. I think he wins in a battle because he just has chainsaws and shit. Like, and he's a fucking psychopath. I think he wins against like Michael Myers, but can't beat Jason or Freddy.
I mean, he has what's the appropriate word? You know what I'm talking about when it comes to a special human strength. He has
Yeah,
that.
he has that extra chromie.
He's a homie with an extra chromie and a leather face. I think he could.
I don't think he's beaten Freddy Krueger though.
Not Freddy Krueger. Is Freddy Krueger the one that's in your dreams?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not fucking with that guy.
Now Freddy versus Jason's a good one, but Jason's like immortal. You can't kill him. So that's the only reason why it's like Jason wins most of them. Like I feel like even if he took a chainsaw to the fucking torso, he'd find a way. He'd crawl just the upper half only, and he'd find you.
Yeah, I'd give Jason the out of a three-way. Jason would take the
Jason's
cake.
winning it. So who do you think out of murder movie cinema horror movies wins? Like Chucky? You think Chucky beating Jason, or like what's up, Pennywise? Any of these elite horror movie characters beating Jason, or is Jason the all-time GOAT when it comes to murder movies?
I mean, you could put money on Annabelle.
I feel like Annabelle. I love the lore, and I love like the kind of the true backstory and stuff to it, and how it makes people mad inside the house, and the doll seems to be alive, and blah blah blah. But like at the end of the day, a good house fire and that doll's gone. Yeah, like I feel like Jason could easily just pour some gasoline and strike his fucking machete on the ground, and boom,
I just
lights a
watched
house
this.
fire.
I just watched this scary movie. I think I watched it with Gade and Logan. It was so good that I actually don't remember where I was going with this conversation.
You'll
That's how
have
good
that
it
on
was.
these big ones.
Yeah. I'm hey, you know what, Paul? I think we
What?
succeeded.
You think we've done it?
I think we're drunk.
Even I feel bad that I fucked up with my headset. So I am officially going tomorrow. What should I get? Should I get a new Steel series?
I would, but I would get this guy. I like the cord.
Really?
I have no issues.
Okay, I'll look at them.
I like
I
it.
think I might have to make the
Also,
make
like
the call.
$70 in savings, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
But the versatility of wireless is nice.
Yeah, Gade's in the chat. He's like, it wasn't a scary movie. It really wasn't. There was maybe like one jump scene, and we all saw it coming. It sucked. And it was a
which
new
one?
movie. I don't remember what it was called. It honestly isn't worth my time, but it's been rated like the top movie. Like Joe Rogan said, this is the scariest movie I've ever seen this year. I was like, oh,
Now
let's
I want to
watch
watch it. What was it called?
I don't remember what it was called, but yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, everyone.
Okay.
This was Drunk Discussions Podcast. Thank you so much for listening to Drunk Discussions Podcast. You can find us wherever podcasts can be found. If you are wanting to watch us live, it is a shit show about 30% of the time.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, and if you're listening to us on the podcast, I'm lazy as fuck, and I did not edit this episode, so you heard all the fuck ups that were happening.
Yeah.
So if you'd like to watch that live, hop on. Yeah. You know what I do when I edit podcasts? I take out the beginning, the end, that empty quiet space, and I throw in the intro, and boom, it's posted.
Bada bing, bada boom, just for you
Oh.
listeners.
Hey, Talk to Me was the movie.
Oh, I need to watch it now just to have a relevance to this question.
It was garbage. It was
Also,
garbage.
if any of you want to give us any information or help us out with some of the next upcoming ones, because we are sticking with the Halloween until the night itself, and we're gonna hopefully, since it falls, if I remember correctly, does it fall on a Thursday?
Oh, it does. We're gonna do
So we gonna dress up for Halloween. So either way, we're gonna be dressing up for our Halloween special on that one. But tune in, give us some feedback, some things you want us to talk about. You want us to do another Monster Mouths, and you send us different monsters, go for it. We have some interesting topics also that I have saved for next week as well. But in that time frame, just shoot us an email. It always helps.
It's Tuesday, by the way.
It's what is it Tuesday? Damn.
Yeah, it's Tuesday.
Well,
Anyways,
we'll do the Thursday before. Oh my goodness.
shucks. Anyways, thank you so much for listening to Drunk Discussions Podcast. With all that being said, peace.